Just roll. Go with it.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition. I can't even. Hold on. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, we have been on this. We've been recording for like a minute and a half now. We finally got this take down. How are you?
I'm great. I don't know. Well, I already wasted my original statement earlier, so
okay, yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We are going to record two different podcasts on this session here. We'll do the basketball one first, and then football we will have out later on like Saturday or Sunday, something like that. But obviously, the basketball one is our main focus right now. It's where we want to put all of our energy at this moment because Colin, North Texas, for the first time since January 19th, has lost a game. They lose to Charlotte on the road, 55-49. We'll dive into the game and all the intricacies and stuff like that. But big picture, it drops North Texas to 23-6 overall and 14-4 in conference play. Yeah. I believe that might clinch FAU's title. They play UTSA today, so I'm sure they won.
I mean, it was clinched anyway. Yeah, it's the same.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that clinches the title for FAU. Congratulations to the Owls, the best team in the conference this year. And on a night where not only FAU clinches the title, North Texas loses, UAB blows out Rice. I didn't even see the final.
Oh yeah, let's look that game up real quick.
85-57 final. Jeez. It was 50-13 at one point. So at least Charlotte made it respectable.
Well, let's be honest. UAB just took the foot off the gas. That's all that was.
Charlotte stopped playing, or UAB stopped playing.
Yeah.
So the top three. That's how the top three teams in the conference did. North Texas obviously falls, and I guess we've spent the last 2 weeks, I'd say last 2 or 3 podcasts, talking about how good this team has been since that loss to Rice. Like we were like, okay, they figured it out. They're making shots. It's all clicking.
Yeah.
You know, there's really, even though they barely beat UTSA and barely beat UTEP, like we can look past those because they blew out Charlotte. They beat UAB. They beat La Tech convincingly. You know, they beat Rice their second time out. They had a lot of convincing wins here. And it's not all going to be, you know, sunshine and flowers, but we thought going into these last 3 games.
that idiom up, sunshine and rainbows, Bruni.
Okay, sunshine and rainbows. But we thought going into the last 3 games, Charlotte, Middle, and Western, we're like, if they can just beat Charlotte, it's their only game for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If they can just beat Charlotte, who they already blew out once, then you got Middle and Western at home with potentially a shot to win the conference, you know, a potential shot at an at-large bid, and you go from there. But now all of that's out the window, Colin. That large bid is gone, which I've said was probably going to be gone regardless, but it's definitely gone now. Conference title is gone, and now you go into these last 2 games with not a lot to play for, except for tuning up for the tournament. So where are you at big picture right now before we get into the...
I think in the order of those 2 things, I think that the conference regular season championship was already out of reach regardless. I mean, the perfect storm would have to happen. And I think the thing that you would be playing for would be that at-large bid, which obviously was still, you know, far-fetched, but it was still possible. And obviously now that that's gone, like you said, there's not much to play for. I mean, look, it's hard to ask for a team to go undefeated since Rice. Because I mean, you even said it earlier. I think it was 3 games before this. I was like, what are the chances? And you said, I don't remember. It was like 10%.
Yeah, 15, 20%.
Something low. Regardless, we knew they were probably going to end up losing a game. It just sucks that the way they lost. I mean, 5 minutes in the first, or 5 points in the first 10 minutes, I think, or 9 minutes. Regardless, it was just not. It was bad. And then to go through a second stretch like that at the end of the game was equally as disappointing. And my concern going forward would be you cannot have this version of this team show up in the tournament because you will not win a game. You know, you show me the team from 8 games, this last 8 game stretch. Great. This team will not win a game. And you have to make sure if you're the coaching staff that this does not happen again.
Yeah, I mean, you laid it out well. It's a Charlotte. First of all, I believe was 7-9 in conference coming to this game, so it's not like this is a Charlotte team. Albeit they are pretty high in KenPom. They were like 120th in KenPom, so it's a capable team. But it's a team you've already blown out once.
Yeah,
It's a team that's under 500 in conference, and it's a team that honestly should not be beating you if you are actually worthy of an at-large bid. And I know that sounds like harsh because everybody loses a game. Like every team in the country is gonna like Alabama gets blown out by Oklahoma on the road. Like sure, losses happen, but you've already used. I said this before. You've used up your bad loss this year.
yeah,
You used it up. Rice was it, and that's what made the Rice loss so frustrating for multiple reasons. Was that Rice is not a good team, as we know, and that I mean B, it was at home, but then C, you had to be perfect the rest of the way. And that's why that Rice loss was so frustrating. Everyone's like, "Oh, just calm down. They're going to be fine." No, I won't calm down because that Rice loss cost them the season. It cost them their goals. It cost them their aspirations coming into the year. What are they? Make the tournament, win the conference championship. Like those are the goals coming into the year. It basically killed them both.
yeah.
And so now we're coming after the Charlotte loss. And like you said, we can dive into the game a little bit more on a granular level. They have one of those games where they can't score the ball. We know it was good. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was too good to be true. Where we're like, damn, they're number one in the conference number one in the conference on offense. They are shooting, like 38% from two in conference. All this stuff. Well, they had one of those games where they shoot 39% from the field. They shoot 3 of 13 from three. They only get to the line 10 times. Like how many offensive rebounds did they end up with?
Us or them?
8. They only ended up with 8 offensive rebounds, 10 second chance points. Usually against Charlotte, I thought they would have more. So, and then Charlotte shoots 48%, even though they only shot 29% from three, they got a lot of twos on them. So it was one of those games where you don't have it clicking the way you want it to click, and Tyler Perry's not able to bail you out like he did against UTEP and UAB. So where do you want to go from here when talking about this game? Because I mean, at this point,
let's bring out. Well, yeah. I mean, there's no point in talking "quote unquote" big picture because the big picture stuff's out the window.
We covered the big picture stuff.
We got that. We've covered that all season. I think going forward, we need to talk about concerns. So I'm gonna bring back a segment.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Time out. Before we bring back a segment, pause the segment.
Wow,
these last two games, let's get these out the way. The last two games here, Western and Middle, as long as they in theory, let's just let's just think this through. If they lose the Middle and beat Western, right? Let's just say that's what happens here, right? They end the year 15-5 in conference. Really, obviously, great, really good season. I'm not gonna say great, really good season from this team. 15-5, with whatever that would be, a 24-7 record. Really good season. I'm not gonna say that it's a bad season. I'm not going to be panicked at this point because I feel like at this point we know what this team is, regardless of what happens last two games. Now, if they lose both, then okay, we can come back. But if they split them, I think we know what this team is. Even if they win them both, we know what this team is. At its best, it can win the tournament. But the problem is they're going to have to win 3 straight games against capable opponents, especially if it's UAB and then FAU as the last two, and they're going to have to be playing much better offensively than they did against Charlotte. They're going to have to be playing a lot better than they did even against UTEP, against UTSA. I mean, you go down the list, they're going to have to be playing their best brand of basketball, and they're capable of winning it if that's the case, which can't be said about everybody. But there is a chance that they go against one of these good teams and they just fall flat like they did tonight.
Yeah. So going into that segment, coming back from years ago, something or nothing, Bruni.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Something or nothing.
Okay.
Tyler Perry tonight, 3 of 11 from the field. Last couple games, he hasn't been that great. I'm trying to look at his recent exact things right now. So
against UTEP, he started 1 of 8, and he ended up 4 of 12.
4 of 12, 4 9, and then the last time they played Charlotte was 4 of 6. So something or nothing. Tyler Perry's. I don't know if struggles or other teams kind of figuring him out.
I would even throw UAB in there because he got the line 10 times, which kind of...
That was when he went 4-14 from 3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was good, but don't get me wrong, but he got the line a lot. I think it is something in this regard. I think it is something, the fact that we saw this last year where the transition from Javion Hamlet to Tyler Perry is such a drastic change in the style of play of your lead guard that I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong, but what Javion did late in games, in my opinion, was more repeatable. And that might be crazy because I know everyone's going to throw out the clutch stats of Tyler Perry, right? Like he's shooting like 80% in the last 5 minutes of games. Like he's incredible. Like I've never said anything bad about Tyler. We have raved about Tyler this entire season. But there is something to be said about your lead guard, your best player, the guy who you're going to go to time in, time out, being a 5'9", 5'10" guard that, doesn't really get to the free throw line a ton. I mean, he has the lowest free throw rate on the team. I'm looking at it besides Tyree Edey, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this wrong. That's Kai Huntsberry has the lowest free throw rate. Jesus. But regardless, like you're looking at a 5'10" guard here that you're asking to hit that crossover, step back, three. All right, does he make it? Yes, great. But like it's just different. And that's kind of what I don't want to say that's why they lost against La Tech last year in the tournament. But when they needed a bucket, La Tech's physicality and Kobe Williams, was in them, and all their physical guards were just in Tyler Perry last year.
Yeah.
And what happened is that like the rest of the offense just went kaput. Like it was just over. I mean, Tyler Perry ended 3 of 14 against La Tech last year in the tournament. And that's my concern. And that was my concern last year. And it's still my concern this year, even though he is a great, great player. He's going to win Conference Player of the Year. It's just different. And so for that reason, I think it is something, even though it sounds crazy.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you because nothing was happening in the game. And obviously, Tyler got in some foul trouble to where it was limiting his minutes.
Yes, that is true. He's been picking up some fouls recently. If we look, 3-3-2, 3-3. And then before that, it was 0-0, 4-3-3. Like it's been picking up a little bit.
But during that stretch where they only scored 5 points through the first half of the half, what had to happen was Kai Huntsberry to do something. And when that happened, the offense started flowing a little bit more. You all of a sudden, you had movement on offense, and we were like, okay, we're finally seeing something. I think Ruben did he hit his only shot during that stretch? Regardless, there was movement, and you and I were like, okay, now they're doing something. They're doing
playing
something
with some pace,
right?
Yeah, they played with some
but then they
poise,
figured that out too, as in Charlotte, and it makes you. It's just hard when you think of a tournament setting. It's like if a team can neutralize the big shots by Tyler Perry, you have to rely on Kai Huntsberry to be.
It's almost like
It's almost like what?
It's almost like you're like in boxing where like the fighter just has like a crazy haymaker punch. Like those Tyler Perry threes are almost like North Texas haymaker punch.
Yeah.
Like that's if they don't have that, if that doesn't connect in some of these games, they have to be perfect defensively. They have to make three, like guys like you said, Kai has to be really good. Like Aaron Scott, who I thought was really, really effective tonight, 5 of 7 from the field. But like you turn to other guys here, and that's not anything crazy. I mean, that's very normal for a team's best player to have to be good. But Tyler Perry specifically, like it feels like his threes are the haymakers of this team, and that's it's great because he's a great shooter. But what's going to happen in these tournament settings when against UAB when Eric Gaines is on him? Yeah, maybe he doesn't have a great game.
Yep. Yeah, because you can't have in the tournament you can't have Kai Huntsberry shooting 1 of 5 from 3. That can't happen. And as a team, you can't go 3 of 13 from 3 because we've talked about time and time again. You got to be this team has to be 37%, 38% to be effective and at their best. And if you don't get that, you're then going back. If you don't get that from Kai, I should say, then you're relying on guys like Aaron Scott, Abu, who aren't offensive, juggernauts by any means. So another guy I wanted to point out too is Reuben Jones. 1 of 5. I think he did some good stuff on the defensive end. We talked about this before the podcast. But offensively, same type of thing. 1 of 5. If you're not going to have Jaden Martinez, although he only played 3 minutes, if you're not going to have him on the floor and take shots, if you're not going to have Matthew Stone, who's on the floor, and obviously he's not going to take shots, or Tyree Edey take shots, Reuben, Kai, and Tyler have to take shots and make shots. And when all 3 of them aren't doing it, combined, they were 9 of 29.
Good job. That was quick.
That was pretty quick. That
I
was
know
pretty
you added
impressive.
that up. There's
Yeah,
9 to
20.
29. So that's under 30% probably. That's like probably 29% from the field. No, you're right. And that was our whole thing coming into the year is those three guards, you have those three. And if they're clicking, you should have a team that can win the conference. And we had another night where we talked about it early in the season, and it's come back a few times this year, but where Tyree Eady, 0 points on 0 shots in 19 minutes. Great. He had 7 boards, only 1 turnover. Cool. But again, this team needs points. They need points. You can't you can't survive on guys go playing 19 minutes and not shooting the basketball. It just doesn't operate that way. I understand they play a very slow pace and there's not a ton of possessions, but it doesn't matter. Like 0 shots, 19 minutes. Matthew Stone, everyone's hero against UTEP. We're getting who was it on Twitter? They put out the apology form. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You
It
saw
was,
that?
I forgot who it was, but yeah.
Yeah, they put out the apology form. Be like, hey, sign this, Brune. Sign this because you were wrong about Matthew Stone. He helped win them that UTEP game, even though he was probably like the 4th most important player in that game. Sign it. And what I said he's got to have more than 1 good game in conference play.
That's true.
And what happened when this team needed him? 14 minutes, 0 points, 0 of 2 shooting, 1 assist, 0 rebounds. I mean, he's a body. He's a cone. And so that's where you need guys. And I mean, like you said, I think Ruben deserves plenty of flack as well. I mean, I understand it can be hard going against Charlotte, but you've already blown this team out.
Yeah.
Like I would think in theory, these are the 2 slowest teams in the country. Like I think it would be difficult, but you've already blown them out. Like there's no reason for you to not have been ready for what Charlotte was going to do. So on a day where Tyler Perry, again, was taken out of his game, foul trouble, defense, whatever you want to call it, it falls on Kai and Ruben and these other guys to step up, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I will say Kai, kind of to my point about Javion, they tried posting Kai up a lot, and it felt like Charlotte was kind of ready for that.
Well, the thing with Kai, too, is he doesn't have the touch that Javion had around the rim, right? So when Kai turns around and hits that floater or even just, gets into the paint normally, I'm not going, oh, yeah, this is going in. I'm going, it's a better shot than what he'll get normally, but I'm not going, oh, this will go in. So I think it's just a way for him to get other looks because right now, I mean, I made what did I text you? I was like, this is their offense. Tyler, drive the elbow, pass to Kai. Kai, drive the elbow, pass to Tyler. And it's back and forth until one of them shoots. And that possession, it was back and forth 5 or 6 times. And then a Tyler 3 that barely hit the front of the rim. So, I mean, if that's how you're going to have to get looks, that's how you're going to have to get looks, but you better hope you make them. So,
yeah. I don't have anything else here, I don't think. It was a disappointing loss. I don't know if I would call it a shocking loss because like I said, for them to go undefeated for the rest of the year, I think that would have been surprising.
yeah.
So for them to slip up a game doesn't surprise me. Like I said before, the Rice loss will frustrate me for a long time. This loss, I don't want to say it was predictable, but it's a road game against a slow Charlotte team. And then Tyler gets in foul trouble and you lose the game. So
yeah,
it kind of is what it is. But Middle and Western next. You hope they can get both of them. I think Middle will be a pretty tough game, actually. I mean, we know Middle was probably the 4th best team in the conference at this point. And then Western, you take care of business against them and move on. So, like I said, what happens in those last 2 games, barring 2 losses, but even 2 losses, Colin, I don't know if it would make me put me at a 10 on the panic meter. Like it wouldn't make me go crazy.
Well, I mean, it's like remember a couple years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think about that team and just how they lost to UAB twice.
It's the coaching staff, right? Like they know that they can go. I mean, like when Aaron Scott hit that big shot tonight, like we both kind of had the inkling, like they could do it, they could come back. It's there. I mean, the team DNA and culture is built around they can overcome anything. The concern is, are they going to be able to execute that every single time? And I don't think mentally this team will ever be not sharp. It's the fact is, are they going to hit their shots when they need to be hit, when they need to be hit? So Yeah, I mean, if like you said, if they somehow lose these last 2 games, I'm not going to be not concerned, but I'm not going to be saying they're going to somehow, be awful in the tournament. Now, they can't play like they did tonight, like I said, but it is what it is.
UAB is scaring me a little bit, even though they were down to UTSA a couple like on last Saturday. So, maybe they're not impenetrable per se, but beating them 3 times, if that is in fact the 2-3 matchup, which I believe it will be, I think all signs point to that.
Yeah.
If that is the 2-3 matchup in the semifinal, that's going to be a game right there.
Yeah, and I think I tell you this every time off air. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. So we'll see. We're not there yet, but when we get there, it's gonna be interesting.
You know who the 6th seed right now is in Conference USA? Or no, well, the 6th seed would play UAB. So the 7th seed, okay, well, the 6th seed is Rice. So I thought we were going to get Rice, North Texas, part 3. But Rice will play UAB in the 3-6 if it all stays to form. There's still 3 games left for everybody pretty much. So it'd be FIU. FIU is and La Tech. FIU, La Tech, and Western all have 10 losses. So yeah, I'm not really worried about those.
Yeah.
But again, so we can kind of move on to Final 4 of FAU, probably middle, and then North Texas UAB, and go from there.
Yep.
It sucks the automatic qualifier, the at-large bid is gone, but as is life on the bubble. I think everybody's dealing with that. I mean, North Carolina's over here losing and
struggling,
losing off the bubble. So that's just how it goes at this point. You got to win your games. And North Texas did not. So, all right. I will say, if Tyler Perry has a bad last 2 games, he's not winning the Conference Player of the Year.
Oh, no, that's a jelly. It'll be probably Jordan Walker.
Jordan Walker dropped 32 against Rice tonight.
Yep. And he had I think he had like 20.
now has him number 1 in the rankings, in their Player of the Year.
Really?
He scored 25, 22, 25, 32. Tyler Perry has to put up 20 in both the last 2 games, I think, to have a chance. And Jordan Walker has to probably take a little bit of a step back.
Yeah.
Or UAB probably just lose game. I'm just saying.
We'll see. We're not there yet.
I'm kind of scared now. We'll see. All right. That's it. That's all we got for y'all today. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, we'll be back over the weekend with the second part of this. We'll be talking about North Texas football, the schedule preview, expectations, all that good stuff, Colin. So stretch out. We'll take an intermission. All right. And go from there. There's nothing in that.
I thought I had water. I don't.
Oh, you just have an empty cup laying around?
Hold on a little bit.
You just have an empty cup laying around in your room. That just shows the state of Colin's room.
No, I've been using this cup all day. Chill out.
You need to drink more water then.
This is my 4th glass. I mean, it's not a lot of water when you really think about it, but I have had I had a Red Bull. Cans in the trash, but I had one.
Good. All right. We will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for joining us. Leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us a like, comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate y'all for joining us as always. We'll talk to y'all later.
Boom.